Hello there! I had to sit in a slightly different part of the room I usually film in today because I usually sit right in front of the window, and the sun was blasting me so hard it looked like I had no eyes, which is a little creepy. I wanted to address some of the spoilers that have come out about how the Riddler got his name, so if you really don't want anything spoiled, you might not want to watch this video, just a fair warning. It's mainly just a couple of pictures. I don't know anything specific about the plot or anything, but there's been a couple of pictures people have found, and I wanted to address some of the theories that surrounded them and my thoughts on the matter. I think the number one theory about the next episode is flying around this picture, where we see Oswald and Ed standing together, and a lot of people have said that this is a hallucination of Oswald. At first I wasn't sure, but then I really thought of it, and I realized that this is one of Ed's many problems. It's a situation similar to the Kristen situation. Basically, the reason Ed got obsessed with Oswald in season 2 is because he wants badly to be like Oswald. He really wants to be able to just kill somebody in the moment and let it go and never think of them again. It's just no big deal. He can throw someone into the river and it means nothing. But that is never going to happen because that is not how Ed's brain works, and he doesn't seem to understand that yet. It took Oswald years of working under crime bosses like Fish Mooney and Falcone and Maroney to reach that point. I mean, he kind of began as like a lackey and everything. It took some time, pre the Gotham series for him to reach a point where he could manipulate people and take their lives and not really feel anything about it, because the only time Oswald ever feels anything negative in regards to someone's death is if it's someone who was close to him. Honestly, close to that many people in Gotham when you think about it. There were his parents, there's Ed, and there's Gordon to a point. Other than that, I mean, he really couldn't care less who lives or dies in that city. Ed, on the other hand, Ed's a little different because for anyone who is familiar with the Batman comic verse and everything, you know that part of the reason Ed leaves riddles and clues at all his crime scenes is he's basically incapable of lying. I mean, he might be able to tell a lie in the moment, but he'll always give himself away. He's got this compulsion to come clean eventually. And there was even, I can never remember what the comic was called, and it's going to make me crazy, I know it. There was one, though, where he honestly tried his hardest not to give himself away and not to tell Batman where he was, and he just couldn't do it. He ended up doing it anyway, and he was really upset when Batman caught him because he was like, this time I honestly didn't want you to catch me. I was trying so hard and I couldn't do it. I ended up doing the same thing I always do, and I left a clue and you found me, and I think I need to go to Arkham because I am not okay. I'm not sure how far into the truth compulsion they're going to show on Gotham, but we do see that he does experience guilt. He can't just kill people and feel nothing. The only time he's been able to do that was when it was that random guy in the woods, because he didn't even know that guy's name. He was just like, yeah, get out of my way, and he was kind of hyped up still over, the adrenaline rush of, ooh, I just did this bad thing and I'm not getting caught. I'm such a bad boy, So it was a different situation than like everyday normal situations. And when you think about it, everyone he's killed has either been an accident or there's been some purpose to it. It's not just like Oswald where you're like, you're being too loud right now, get the fuck out of my way, He killed Kristen by accident. That was terrible. He only killed the guy in the woods because he was on an adrenaline rush, and everyone else he's killed, it was, either very carefully calculated out or there was a reason behind it, like the Mr. Leonard guy. It's because, hey, I'm helping my friend so that, he'll like me and he'll help me learn. There's always some kind of motive behind it. Since there's a motive, there's some kind of emotional attachment, which means that Ed is, at least to this point, incapable of killing someone without feeling something afterward. That being said, I think he's going to have just as hard a time with the fact that he killed Oswald as he did over Kristen, because whether it was the same kind of love or not, he did love both of them, which means he's going to feel some guilt. He's going to wish on some level he could get them back, and they're going to haunt him. We already saw Kristen haunting him, a year later, towards the beginning of season 3. And the reason why I think that this Oswald is a hallucination in episode 15 is because when you take a close look at the picture, he looks like he just came out of the river, basically. His coat is all torn up, he's got blood all over him, he looks like he's been through some shit, because he has. So not only is he hallucinating Oswald, which is already bad enough, he's hallucinating him in the worst possible state, like a ghost. That tells me he's even more guilty about killing Oswald than he was about Kristen. Because, yes, Kristen came back and, haunted him in a hallucination, but she basically looked okay. She looked the way that she always did when she was at work. Nothing horrible going on. She didn't have, giant bruises or anything like that. Oswald, on the other hand, it's like the stuff of nightmares. And the other reason I think he's a hallucination is we've seen a nice chunk of that scene where people seem to be playing chess or something in the promo teaser for episode 15. And for most of it, Ed's standing there by himself. He's just kind of talking to himself, watching these people play their game. I'm not really sure what he's doing there yet, but he doesn't have anyone with him, and all of a sudden, here's Oswald. Why would he have invited him, especially in that state, looking that crap? So I think that the hallucination of Oswald is what's going to help him with that final push of becoming the Riddler. He's going to be like, yep, that was my last step. Getting rid of him and kind of taking his place as this sociopath of Gotham. This is it. This is me. The other picture that people were kind of freaking out over, unfortunately, I saw it on a YouTube video. I cannot find it myself, but basically, Gordon and Ed seem to be in a car together, and everyone's like, oh, what's going on? What are they doing? I think it's actually a little more self-explanatory than that. I think that Gordon is smarter than a lot of the villains in Gotham give him credit for being, and he's a better cop than he's given credit for being. He just bends the rules a little more than most would, and you have to in Gotham. I think that it won't take very long for Gordon and the rest of the city to realize that Oswald is gone. I mean, first he kind of freaked on TV, and then he disappeared. And he's going to be like, okay, you know what? Nothing has ever kept Oswald away for long. He's been gone from Gotham a total of, 3 days before, if even that. So what's going on here? This is shifty. I think he'd probably go to Barbara first, who's gonna, either play dumb or do her usual thing of just pointing right at Ed and being like, ask his second in command. I mean, I don't work for him or anything, but Ed does. You should be talking to him, not me, innocent Barbara. And he's going to be like, screw it, I don't want to talk to her anymore, and he's just going to leave, and he's going to think about it, he's going to be like, you know what, she's right. Ed's the only one who has been very close physically and emotionally to Oswald over the past, I assume 6 months or so. And so he's going to find him, and he's going to be like, listen, what's going on? I mean, I know you shouldn't have been released from Arkham when Oswald let you out. There's no way that you were done in there yet. And suddenly your boss is gone. The crime lord of Gotham is gone. What happened? And I think that just like he did with Barbara in season 2, he's just going to go ahead and roll with whatever's going to take him to the answer. So he'll just jump right into Ed's car. It's going to be like, oh, let's talk about this or something. He'll get right in the car with him, think nothing of it. He'll be like, I'll just shoot the guy or call backup or something. But even if I go out, at least, I have an answer. So he's going to get in the car with Ed just to be like, listen, I know you had something to do with this. What's going on? As for the rest of the season, I think it's going to be very Gordon and Ed centered for the most part, although I know that Court of Owls is not gone. They've been quiet lately, but there's no way they're staying that way, so I think that Court of Owls is going to make huge appearances from now on and become a lot more important than they have been up to now. I think that Oswald will only appear as a hallucination or a ghost for the remainder of season 3 until maybe like the season finale, and that's when we'll see him again. I don't know. I don't think that Oswald is actually dead. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's probably going to be resurrected, but I think that even Gotham by this point is like, okay, we've beat that horse enough now. It's time to stop resurrecting people. I think he's alive, but he's going to be in really shitty shape. He's going to be probably very close to death, like when Ed found him, which is interesting. When he met Ed, he was near death, and now Ed is the reason he's near death. Interesting how things circle around like that. I would not be surprised, though, if Fish Mooney is the one who finds him. I'm still convinced that she and Strange have been only quiet because they've got some kind of secret lab going on where they're doing who knows what to get the city back, or to get back in favor with the Court of Owls on Strange's end. And I do honestly think that as much as Fish Mooney wishes she could just blow Oswald away and be done with him, she has this strange mother-son connection with him, because she's right, she did create the Penguin, and in some ways he's the reason why she is the way she is now. Not just, the fact that she was killed and resurrected, but personality-wise, she's a different person than she was in, episode 1, season 1. And a lot of that is because of Oswald. They've done a lot for each other, not in the nicest way, but they have. And they know that. They recognize that. And I think that if she finds him near death on the riverbank or something, she's not going to be able to just turn her head. She's going to have to take him back with her. And I'm wondering if in the process of healing him, she's going to have Strange give him some kind of ability like, oh no, listen, you'll be so much stronger and we can, gang up together and take people down in Gotham if you have these abilities. And maybe that's going to make him more the Penguin than he already is. They're going to do something to him. I have no idea what they do. It can go all kinds of places, because what people forget about Gotham is it doesn't have to be entirely realistic. It's kind of got fantasy elements in it and everything, and sci-fi elements. So it could be anywhere from making him near impossible to kill to making it so he can, survive or manipulate Arctic temperatures. I mean, anything can happen, and I can hardly wait to see what they choose. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the matter, on anything that I've seen so far. And I don't think Nygmobblethought is dead still. I think it's very much alive. It's just sleeping right now. But the fact that Ed can't get Oswald out of his head tells me something. And the fact that his hallucination of Oswald is a lot worse than Kristen's tells me that he cares about Oswald even more than he cared about Kristen in some way or another. And eventually he's going to be forced to face that. So hang in there, guys. And I hope you have a nice remainder of your week. I am going to make an extra video today that's going to be in my other playlist of what I've been up to, because something very, very exciting happened to me, and I hope you enjoy hearing about it.